Hello everyone, my name's Jackie Wilson, one of the co-founders of Positively Empowered Kids, and I'm bringing today another interview for you. And today we're going to speak to the wonderful, very excited about this, Deana Wildgoose, who runs a social enterprise called ThinkFC. So Deana's going to tell us a little bit more about what she does. Hi Deana.
Hi Jackie, thank you for inviting me.
Welcome.
On that introduction, which is a little bit embarrassing. I'm Deana from ThinkFC, and basically we take business tools and make them accessible for young people. So our passion is to level the playing field by providing young people and communities with tools that can help them basically run their own lives better, make better decisions, get things done, take responsibility and things like that. So we're in fact, I can probably even turn my phone around and show you. No, I can't. It's on the wall. I'm looking at a wall that's about 3 meters by 2 meters, and it is just one massive umbrella goal, which is basically all the things that we think we're going to be working on over the next 6 months. And in there, there's obviously trying to get our community enterprise, which is what we are, a CIC, sort of sustainable and thinking of different ways of doing that, because our passion is also sharing. It's like, how do you share everything that you've got and the tools and still make it sustainable? So that's a big chunk of it. Then there's the primary school think program. So that's how do we share business tools into primary schools. And a lot of you know getting into primary schools is quite difficult, but Jackie's brilliant at it and others. So if we can share what we do with people who are already going into primary schools, or directly with head teachers or helpers or anybody, then that's something we're really passionate about. We want to be able to do that. And then going along this giant umbrella goal, there's developing the thinking tools themselves. So that's us trying to get them on our website and make them accessible and shareable, which has been made easier since we met a lovely lady called Victoria, who is now helping us do that. So she's found out about thinking tools, loves them. She's a graphic designer, and so she's made my rubbish efforts really, really nice. So hopefully they'll start looking better. So there's the think tools. The next bit of the giant umbrella goal, which is one of our tools, which is really a powerful tool to help you basically, whatever your dream is, there's no dream too small. Get your umbrella out there, break it down into something small, and it'll give you something you can do today. And that can be used with young people of any age. The next on our list is CBS's, which is basically a community benefit society, is a legal vehicle that can bring people together in a community, schools, individuals, the police, the council, organisations, everybody can be a member, but it allows places to take control and come together but retain their own identities. So we're really quite passionate about that, and all our thinking tools are being embedded into one that we are currently setting up in Colville. And then the last bit is the positive revolution, which is the five things that if you want to make a difference, then the positive revolution is out there. It's about basically using your hand as the guide, being effective, heartfelt honesty, learning and sharing all the time, and the little finger, which is the most important one, is everybody's contribution counts, however small. So we've just been playing with that a bit and sharing it with people. So that's a bit of a broad overview of everything we're doing that's on my giant umbrella goal.
I could just, you know what, since I've known you, I've just watched this expand so quickly. You guys are so creative and so just, I don't know, it's crazy some of the stuff you're coming up with. And I've had the pleasure of being part of one of the first trainings and really starting to get to know some of these tools, which are so brilliant, because I'm a very type of person who needs to do and experience and play. And the tools are, you have to think, you have to be creative. And for me, what I find in schools is thinking doesn't happen very often for kids. And this is just a real antidote to that kids can learn to possibility think about those possibilities out there and really open their minds, which is going to actually create more innovation in the world. And collaboratively, it's just a great thing that you're creating. I can see how amazing it's going to be as more and more people get to know this. I can't kind of give you enough praise of how much I love what you do. And you're amazing creative mind, and a lot of you have come together with Julia and
You've mentioned it there, possibility thinking. So that is the key, I think. If we can get people possibility thinking, which is basically just coming up with more ideas than you ever thought of. So, if you do this in schools, I am afraid to say some teachers out there, I'm sorry, but you're not the world's best at possibility thinking. It's not your fault. It's probably the system. When you were younger, you probably were brilliant at it, because kids are brilliant at it. And especially the kids that quite often get chucked out. They're the ones that are brilliant at possibility thinking. And the key to possibility thinking is we've got some creative prompts that really help you come up with more ideas. So things like imagine the world's worst. What would the world's experts say? What if you had a magic wand? All these things that expand the ideas you have. And kids will come up with all sorts of stuff. Well, everybody will. And some of them, they're not going to be your best ideas. And the whole point is you get through those. So you can get, if you're dealing with young people and they'll come up with, how many uses for a glass, they'll come up with, that's going to store my weed. And it's absolutely fine that they say that, because the best idea might not be that one. But what we found was teachers would straight away say, you can't say that, that's just terrible, that's naughty, it's illegal, or whatever. But actually, it was just an idea. And the idea of possibility thinking is at the end of your session, you might have 30 ideas. Your best idea might not be that you're going to use that glass to store your weed in it. It might be something much more creative. And so the idea is to get through those ideas that might be silly or whatever. There's no wrong answers in possibility thinking. Whatever comes into your head. I always say fish and chips comes into your head. You just write that down and you carry on, because fish and chips might lead you to think of other ideas to do with food or potatoes, or connecting through some other method. So possibility thinking allows you to come up with ideas, and then the other tools help you take responsibility and get on with some of these ideas.
Absolutely. And I think, from my experience of doing that with the group of children, what you witness, being the observer of that happening, is their energy just lifts. They become so engaged and excited, and they just really thrown out there, and they love it. It just kind of really enhanced their learning of what we were trying to achieve. For me, that when I was working with this particular group of children, they were creating a well-being day, and we had ideas of the head teacher parachuting, or it might have even been bungee jumping out of a helicopter, far out, but a great start. And they were just bouncing up and down. They were so excited to come up with all of these ideas of what they could possibly do. But we got some great ideas, like you say, within all that craziness. We had blowing up the field, putting the teachers in the mud, and all sorts of things, because that would be great for their well-being, to be able to roll teachers around in mud. But actually, there was some really wonderful ideas that then got put into the Wellbeing Day that came within all of that. So it's just incredible. And you do lots of different things which go across the spectrum. It can work with children, it can work with parents, educators, businesses, like you say, and it's accessible to everybody, and I've worked with adults and invited them to make the What Could I Bird, and to do the strings task. And whether I'm working with kids or adults, they all love it. It's that element of play, I think, that is good within what you do as well.
I just changed the background, because I thought, it might be a little bit annoying to have our mission constantly flying in front of your face, but also I remembered that I'd put the summary of all the tools up there.
Yeah, there they are. They are brilliant, and Deana's disappeared. Crazy things she does. There she is. Yeah, that's great. So many things in there, like the 8 caps. I'm trying to think about the possibility thinking. What's OPV? I can't think of that one.
Other people. Ooh, I've come out like Darth Vader. OPV, other people's views. A really simple tool. Edward de Bono inspired. Just other people's views. Another really simple one there is PMI, plus minus interesting, which is probably, we did meet a professor up in Newcastle that had training from Edward de Bono years and years ago, and he said the one thing he uses every day is PMI, and PMI is just very simple. Anything that comes across your desk, or a decision you've got to make, or an idea, is do a quick PMI on it, and we use it all the time. So it's a quick PMI is, what are the positives, what are the negatives, what's interesting. So the other day I had an email come through from somebody, and and it immediately made me feel sick because I didn't know what was going to be in it. And I thought, yeah, that's a bit of anxiety there. What am I going to do? Anyway, I read it quickly, and then I thought, do a quick PMI. So I looked at all the positives about that email, thought about the negatives, and thought about what was interesting, and immediately I was calm because I'd done that little exercise. So it's a really, really useful little tool, the PMI. But I need to go back to the 8 caps because you mentioned them. The 8 cap story, that's going to go on our website very soon in one of our, the bit that we haven't finished yet, what we do at the beginning. There's a nice little story about the 8 caps because we met, the first trip out we had with our 8 caps. So the 8 caps are a thinking tool that's inspired, another Edward de Bono inspired tool. He's got something called the 6 thinking hats, and we've developed the 8 thinking caps with them. We've added a couple of extras. And it's basically about separating your thinking out so that you can look at the facts separately to how you're feeling, separately to about the PMI, there's the positives, look at the positives, look at the negatives, and look at ideas. And we've shared this a number of times, and it's how do we get this into school so that it can be used every day for young people to sort their own problems out. Because once you've learnt the 8 caps, you could send a couple of young people that are having an issue and say, actually, you've got your 8 caps, go through it and come back with your solutions, or share them with us. Or you could have an 8 cap expert in the class that could help solve problems or whatever. But anyway, the 8 cap rap happened because I decided to write a poem for all these tools. One of them was the 8 cap rap, but obviously I'm not a rapper. And at the festival last year, we met Eli, who is a rapper, and he liked what we're doing, so we had a chat. And then a few months later, we were at another festival of community activists, basically down in Frome, and they had something called a soup event. And a soup event is where people put a fiver in a pot, they all sit down and have soup, and then people are asked to pitch an idea. So we pitched our idea. In fact, we got some volunteers, we made hats, we wrote the verses of this rap that I'd written, put them on the heads, they all read it out, and we said what we want to do is share the 8 cap rap with young people, and we want to get the rapper to do it, but we need a bit of money to pay him. And we won the event. So we walked away with after they take their costs out for the soup, we got the pot. So we walked away with this pot of money, pot of cash, and then we just gave that to Eli. Eli rewrote the rap properly, like a rapper would, and created a really cool tune. And then we did a session in a leisure centre in Nottingham recently with him, and we've got a film that's about to come out, which has got the 8 cap rap. So as soon as that's out, it will be on our YouTube channel. But yeah, so
at the minute, because obviously we're positive empowered kids, and at the moment what we'd love to do is share with parents some tips, and I know you've got a tool that might help at the moment.
Well, so it's hot off the press.
Yeah, I
was on a Zoom call with 100 people from all over the world last week, and it's something called Liberating Structures, which is fantastic. It's a website with a load of freely downloadable tools, and one tool they shared was called Spiral Journal. So we've made Spiral Journal, we've called it Big Dream Start Small, and you can all get involved. So the idea is you all get a bit of paper and you all fold it, so one sheet of paper, fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. That's it. Then you open it out. And then we think this could be a potential daily practice or twice daily practice. And we're going to do it with Jackie. What we're going to do is we're going to turn off the film for, you can have 2 minutes to do it, and then we'll come back on, or you pause it for 2 minutes. So what you're going to do is you're going to start right in the middle here, and you're going to just create a spiral. And just for 2 minutes, you're going to slowly, as slow as you can, and as tightly as you can, create a spiral. And that's it. You do that. And then when you've done that, we're going to come back and you're going to put 4 things in these quadrants.
If they pause the video right now,
so pause it now.
That spiral, and then you'll be ready to carry on as soon as you've done that. Okay, so what's the next step?
So welcome back. Those ones have come back. I'm going to attempt to share my screen now. So in each of the 4 corners, you are going to, first of all, in the top left-hand corner, you're going to say, to write down just something you're proud of. It can be, you can draw a picture, you can write a paragraph, you can write 1 word. So left-hand corner top, something you're proud of. Then move on, right-hand corner, something you're grateful for. Can be anything. Bottom right, big dream. So something you really, in the future that you want to achieve, something really big. Don't matter how far away it is, don't matter how big it is, the bigger the better. Really big dream. And then the final one, something you want to do today. And we think that could be a really cool little tool. So it's got that element of mindfulness in terms of doing that spiral, which really focuses the mind, and it's relaxing in doing the circle, and you concentrate and all those things. It sort of brings you all together. And then the 4 quadrants that I'm proud of gives you that sense of, actually I am good, I've got loads of things that I've done, this is one of them. Then I'm grateful for, so connecting with others, a bit of OPV, looking at other people's views, how you might have helped somebody else or somebody's helped you. So what you're grateful for. And then the big dream, so that's like the umbrella goal. So what's the huge thing you want to do? So it's no dreams too big for that. And then coming back down to something you'll do today. So it gets you actually focused. So what the idea is, if we created a little booklet out of this, a little notepad, imagine if you'd got 30 and you've done it every day. Some of the things you're going to be proud of would have been things that you've done during the day. And you might even getting closer to your big dream, and it'd just be really interesting to see how that works and if people find it useful. So that's not a tool that's on our toolkit, because we've only just thought of it. And I've just shared it with you guys, because I thought, well, actually, if you use it and say that really works. Of course, you can change the questions. So when we did it on liberating structures, our workshop, they were completely different questions relevant to the session we were doing. But we thought these were sort of universal questions, but you could come up with your own questions depending on whatever. You could use it in workshops, use it in your family environment. You could do it as I don't know. The other thing we thought was you could do it at the end of the day as well. So it could be a start of the day, and you could even do a reverse spiral. So we basically are saying, go out there, use it, try it, and we'd love some feedback on it. And very soon it'll be on our website in some form or other.
Well, after this video, there's obviously comments that people can put. So if anybody's done that, please feedback to Deana on here. And if they want to get in touch and follow you and find your website, how can they find you?
So ThinkFC, so it's thinkfc.org.uk, Deana@thinkfc.org.uk, and can you put this in the chat, the telephone number? I could perhaps send something that we can put in. But yeah, so there's a website. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. So yeah, you're welcome to.
Just ThinkFC on Facebook and Twitter, the same. Yeah. Brilliant. Well, that is wonderful. I mean, I know we could talk probably all day and do a lot of things, but there is some great downloadables on your website, isn't there? You can.
Yes. In Think Tools.
Yeah,
there's a new section we've just put up, actually, so you can go into Think Tools and you can download any of these things that are behind me now. You can download all of those in Think Tools, and there's something else called Resources, and in Resources there's some desk planners. So these are just things we've put together recently that embed the Think Tools in them, but they help come up with ideas, plan projects, look at the finance to do with them. So there's a few on there, but there's a few that we haven't put up there that you might be interested in. Like one's about work experience, so that one might be relevant. So I can email that one if you send me an email. We're doing one on positive mindset, but my desk plan needed properly designing by Victoria, so we're just waiting for that one. So yeah, so there are some resources on there that you can freely download and use, and then let us know how you get on with them.
I think these are great, especially with the home education stuff that's going on at the moment for parents. It's a great resource to use because there's fun things you can do with kids, and it opens their minds and it will grow their minds, which is what we want to do, grow our minds. Actually, my mind's been growing just by doing a few of these things, just thinking differently and focusing more on a positive way forward and discovering solutions and all of that. So thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I'm really excited to have you on. And,
thank you.
And please get in touch. Follow Deana on Facebook, Twitter, go onto the website, email her, keep in touch. You work with organisations, schools. Do you work in the community?
Yeah, so we're concentrating all our efforts at the moment in the Colville community, creating the Community Benefit Society. So we're hoping to engage with lots of young people around the things that they're interested in, the passions and what they want to do, and encourage some sort of trading thing. So young people that say can't afford boxing matches but really want to do boxing might do something else in return. So we're looking at how can we set something up so they'll get to do what they want to do, but in return for something else. So we're looking at something along those lines, and we're sharing the tools with young people in Colville in different ways. So yeah.
Thank you very much. It's been absolutely wonderful, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people getting a lot out of this. So it'll be great to hear back from them. Thank you, Deana.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye bye.